All right, hello and welcome to another replay. I am your host, James. So here we are. We are in Fuji Nations Cup Round 2, and we are already underway. I started P6 in the Mazda 3. This is a one-make race, so all 16 drivers are racing the Mazda 3. This is a Group 4 Mazda 3, which is basically like a GT4 car, which means that these are all going to be front engine, front wheel drive. And the only thing that we can adjust in this race is the brake balance, which for the Mazda, this is a big factor because this is a front engine, front wheel. The tire wear that's going to happen in this race will affect both your cornering and your decision on if you want to change tires or not. Now, this is a one-stop mandatory race, so whether you decide to keep the tires or change the tires, at some point in the race you do have to stop. So let's go ahead and get on with it and see how we do. Now, again, this is a Nations Cup race, so I am representing the good old US of A, and we do have a couple drivers from Canada, but the majority of the pack is from the US. So, can the 14 other US drivers hold off the 2 Canadians? Let's find out. So already as we're heading down the straight on the first lap of the race, I have somehow made it from a bad P6 start, P7 into the first corner, down to P1 at the start-finish line. And it's just a matter of staying clean, staying out of the way, and just trying to do the best I can to avoid all of the drama. And I guarantee if you do that, you will have very good results, as opposed to trying to bump, bang, force your way through, end up with penalties, or end up crashing out yourself. So just remember that as you watch this race. Keep it clean. Keep it clean. Now, there are some corners where it's not going to be possible to do that. And we do have one in this race. And I want to say that that corner is going to be coming up very soon between myself and Walter the Canadian. All right, still holding it together here as we head through the final section of corners before we head down the main straight. Holding off 2 Canadians behind me. But I brake a little bit late here, which causes me to go a little wide, and I lose the position to Walter the Canadian, and I'm about to lose another position to Simon the Canadian. And I've got the American breathing down my neck, and he is going to take me as well with the momentum that he's got. I'm just going to try and hold on and keep it clean. So I decided to take the outside, and as predicted, I fall down to P4, but I am in the mix, so I can still make this happen. Ooh, we got a little bit of contact there, but I had the corner, and this is what I was talking about, and you will not see the last of the battles between me and Canadian Simon. We have some bumping and banging in this race, but we both tried to keep it as respectful as possible. But in that last instance, I felt like I had the position. I felt like he just came in to try and muscle his way through, and it worked out for me, but not for him. So I am up into P3, and in my opinion, that was my position to begin with. All right, heading into the final twisty bits. Hopefully learn from my mistakes on this section in lap 2, which it looks like I did, as I have good acceleration coming out of the corner heading down the final straight. Because this straight is so long, it is so important to get a good exit down this straight. You can gain or lose a lot of time on that straight. So here we are, lap 4. You can look at my tires on the lower left. You can see the tire wear in the red. So the brake balance so far does appear to be helping. I am not losing as much tire wear as I thought I would. So my cornering isn't really that much affected. As we go into the struggle corner, I still manage P3. For me personally, that corner is going to see a lot of action. And you will see too. This is pretty much a spot where the pit windows are going to open up. So I am currently in a Canadian sandwich between Canadian Walter and Canadian Simon. But I do believe we've got one of the Canadians going into the pits. So that should launch me into P2. And it does. But because we already have one person going into the pits on lap 4, it's right about this time I decide that I'm going to do my pit on lap 5. So this is going to be my in lap. I did enjoy my race very well with Simon here. Didn't have a great line going into this section. Did not want to be that guy that tried to do some blocking to save a spot, especially with this being my in lap. So I went ahead and gave up the position. Didn't really fight it that much. I figured I would have my shot later on in the race. Wasn't worth it to try and do something stupid at that point, especially with me coming into the pits on this lap. My goal was just to keep it close. And again, because I am so concerned with tire wear, and I know that I am not great at conserving my tires, I made the decision to actually change tires. There are going to be some drivers that will not. They will just come in, do a stop and go right out, but I want fresh rubber. Alright, we're in. Just tires, no fuel, and we're out. So now we're in the back of the pack. We are coming out P11. I've got Canadian Simon up in P9. I've got a driver in between of us, but I don't believe they've pit. And if they did, no, I take that back. They did actually pit. They were in front of me. I don't believe they pit for fresh tires. I want to say that they just did a stop and go, which is why they were able to come out so fast. But personally, I think that is going to be their downfall because this car is very hard to corner if you've got too much tire wear. And I want fresh rubber. I don't think the driver in front of me is going to be able to manage their tires that well, so I should get around this guy pretty quickly. Or girl, or person. Racer, driver. I just want to stay as close as I can because I do know that there are other drivers that are still coming into the pits. Again, the window is pretty much from lap 4. I would say if you want to play it safe, lap 4 to lap 7. Anything later than that, you're risking it, especially with the tire wear that's going to impact you. All right, so we get a good acceleration out of that final corner, making big gains on P10. We're also going to pass some drivers that are in the pits. Looks like we got a few. And we're up to P7. And we got a drag race to turn 1. A drag race on my fresh tires that I win. P7. And now I can focus on Simon, hopefully. Simon from Canada. Or Canadian Simon, I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. Alright, another decent-ish exit. Maybe not decent exit out of that corner. My favorite corner, but we still have P7. I'm hoping that the 3 cars in front are going to spend so much time battling that I will catch up, but we will see. We will see. Alright, looks like we had a little bit of an incident, so I am sitting at P6, chasing down P5 and P4. Making big gains on P5. I just need to nail this corner. They're wide outside, I'm tight inside, I'm P5. Alright, so now we can again try and take the fight to Canadian Simon. And I know I'm going to get big gains on my favorite corner because, as I've witnessed so far in this race, Simon brakes earlier, I brake later on this corner. So this is where I should make big gains. So long as I can nail that corner, which this time I actually do. So we're less than 3 laps to the finish. Still have a ways to go to catch him. I'm hoping he didn't change tires, which should help me, but we'll see. Alright, looks like we made some big gains heading into the final corners down the straight. Nice and tight. Accelerate out. Yeah, we got much, much closer. This is good. This is really, really good. So we passed another person that decided to pit. Looks like they decided a little bit too late. Tire wear was too much of a factor, but now they're going to fall way back. Meanwhile, here I am fighting a weirdly colored car. And I will take P3, and I am right on Canadian Simon's bumper, heading to my favorite corner. The corner where I can do my best shot at overtaking. So let's see what happens. All right, so let's get into this part. We make contact at the corner. I kind of knew it was coming because he's done it once before already. And my other battle with Walter from Canada did the same thing on lap 1. But because we kind of came in there at the same time, I felt like maybe I should have backed off and let him take that corner. But I didn't. I just went for it. I wouldn't call it a lunge. We got there around the same time. But because it was kind of in that gray area, in my opinion, I decided to slow up and let him get that spot back. And I figured I would fight with him later on in the race. But this is the tail end of lap 9, so we really only have 1 lap left. So my goal is to get as close as I can so I can make a much cleaner pass on that corner. So far, it looks like it's working. I'm getting a decent enough draft. I've got good tires. Let's see what we can do in these corners. All right, another nice tight line into turn 1. I am gaining on him big time. I am liking this. Fastest sector of the race for me. I will take it. Good gains, and here we go. This is the time. He brakes early, I brake late. Let's see how it works out. I've got a good, yep. Now this time, same thing. He turns into me, tries to force the issue, but in this occasion, I was clearly ahead, clearly in front, so I felt no need to give the position back. So I'm keeping it and remaining or taking P2. So on the final lap, I got P2, but now, can I hold off Canadian Simon heading down these last few corners down the final straight, because he is right on top of me. That final corner is going to be so important. All right, here we go. He's right there. I am nice and tight. Accelerate out. He's a little bit wide, a little bit of a twitch, and that's all I need. I'm taking P2. So no chance at P1, but a good P2 from a P6 start, coming fresh off of work, no practice, no prior experience other than knowledge of the track and knowledge of the car, but not at the same time. And I manage a P2 finish. I will gladly take it. So there was a 7 p.m. slot. Seeing as I made it on the podium, there's no need for me to try, because if you go in and do other races, if you have a worse result, it's going to take the result of your last race. I am fine with P2. So I do want to thank you for watching. If you like the video and want to see more, please like this one, follow me, and click that little bell that you get reminded whenever I do another replay or a live event. I do those from time to time as well. But seriously, thank you all for watching, and I will catch you you next time. Adios.